Donald Trump was talking about really making sure we tone down the violence. And if you are going to be violent, then you could be put in a category of a terrorist. And he said the Antifa is sick and dangerous, and Antifa will be designated a major terrorist organization. He said, I'm pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa will be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention on this matter. He said, I'm pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa will be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention on this matter.
So 2 things on this. First of all, this is long overdue. It's not just an ideology. If you remember the Summer of Love, that was many of those people were Antifa.
And he talked about doing it then.
That's exactly right. And now he's back in the presidency to make it happen. They're domestic terrorists. They set things on fire. They assault cops, and there was no consequences.
Protect the people!
This is Martin Luther King!
Protect the people!
Stand up!
Do your fucking job! Everyone!
Nobody
Put that down, you stupid bitch! What the fuck? Are you gonna shoot me?
You don't touch the scale. You don't help. You don't retire as a fucking
That was many of those people were Antifa.
And he talked about doing it then.
That's exactly right. And now he's back in the presidency to make it happen. They're domestic terrorists. They set things on fire. They assault cops, and there was no consequences. The second thing about this that makes it so important, now that they're a domestic terrorist organization, now you can go after the people that are funding it, the RICO cases. And many people have said, George Soros, evaluate him and all his Open Society and all of these organizations that are funding these underground groups.
When Christopher Wray came out and said Antifa is an ideology, it's not a group, we're about to find out if he's wrong or right. Because we don't really have a category for domestic terrorist organizations. Al-Qaeda comes here in our country. Right. They're a terrorist organization, but it's a foreign organization in our country. So this is new. Number two, these pasty-faced kids that go into Starbucks and wreck the place in Seattle and Portland, I would like to see you sit these kids down. A lot of them are overprivileged. And you sit there and go, who funded you? How much you getting paid? Who did it? And just build it like that. Who's the one who called you? How did you guys form? Why do you all wear black? And then you find out what's behind it. And I think it's going to go to a certain funding. These guys aren't rioting for free. They're all getting paid. That's why it's important.
Well, real quickly before we move on, to your point, you're right, Brian, that we don't have the domestic terrorism in that sense. But the past administration, they were looking at mom groups.
I know.
They were talking about, by the way, we got new revelations about them targeting Turning Point, FBI, going after them. Pro-life groups, they were labeling them as domestic terror. By the way, there was no evidence of this happening. White supremacist groups that they were claiming in the military and all that as domestic terrorism. They did investigation, didn't find anything on it. These people actually set things on fire.
Well,
right?
Antifa is short for anti-fascist, and it's a violent group. They're in the shadows. They wear these masks, and then they go in and they spark violent riots.
So it's to designate Antifa as a terrorist organization, saying this, quote, "I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I'm designating Antifa as a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices." Fox News contributor Ben Dominitz joins us now. Ben, they're not just an ideology. They're a violent group. This was the right move, right?
Well, yes, it was. Lawrence, I will caution that, this is a move that the president actually made near the end of his term in 2020, though at the time that he made it, there wasn't really the opportunity to lean into it the way that I believe this second administration is going to. Namely that Antifa, to your point, is not just some vague ideology, as we were told by Christopher Wray and others at the time.
Right.
It's actually an organized group, and they've performed organized activity across the country in attacking, multiple different places, cities and facilities, including most recently in North Texas, where someone attacked an ICE facility there. This is a situation where you have these domestic terror cells that are organizing online, and they deserve to be investigated, particularly when it comes to the financial backing that they receive, which really has been a black box to this point. We deserve to know more about how they're getting funded.
Ben, why do you think there was hesitance from the politicians as well as not the rank and file law enforcement, because they know it, but the political appointee law enforcement to do this?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that one of the things that has been an item of awareness for quite a long time is that this last administration under Joe Biden leaned heavily into targeting various conservative groups, Christian groups, and the like for all sorts of investigation. Really, I think in many instances abusing their power and framing them falsely as white supremacist groups and the like. And I think that this administration is basically saying, look, you took your eye off the ball. Those groups were never a threat to the American people. They never represented an actual violent threat, and instead you persecuted them. We're now going to use the full force of the law to go after the people who really do represent violent threats across the country, and I think this is part of a stepped-up attitude. And frankly, if Democrats want to defend Antifa and go down that road, as I saw David Axelrod and others suggesting this was going to be some kind of political witch hunt,
incredible.
I think that more power to them. I think it's absolutely detestable, and the truth is that anyone who wants law, order, and a non-chaotic streets in our cities across the country should be in favor of knowing more about what Antifa is doing before they do it.
Yeah, they had no problem arresting the praying grandma in the Capitol, but the people that are setting buildings on fire. Let's not go too far.
The greatest country on earth. Freedom, loving American, patriot. Go home, Roosevelt! Go home to your bunkers!
After an event events Saturday, December 12th, where we fed the homeless and went and marched to the Capitol. 3%ers and other racist, fascist militia groups were there. His truck and one other truck pulled up right there. Chris Hill got out as soon as his feet hit the ground. That's when all the other doors opened up. And everybody that was on this side of the road pulled their long guns out and had us in their scopes the whole time. Everybody from the first two trucks got out and actively pursued us up the sidewalk here. Look, you can see their arm. You can see their arm. You can see their arm. We ain't got nothing on us. You fucking know? What you got? We ain't got nothing.
I do this because I have a lot of love to share with the world, and I needed an outlet for it.
They start coming at me, I'm going to chamber around, but I do not intend to shoot unless fired upon.
We're the good guys. That's all we've ever been trying to do, is just be good for the community, be good for the world, because there's so much bad.
If for some reason some fucker tries to come up to you, one hand choke you out, take their elbow and break it.
We're not scared of the cops. We're not scared of the fascists. We're not scared of anybody. This is our goddamn city.
Because we don't respect their authority.
Death to fascists.
They hate us more than anything.
All cops are bastards! All cops are bastards!
We ain't going anywhere. We're never gonna leave. We're never gonna stop.
Do you trust these people?
Live my life.
We have to conceal our identities. We're under constant threat and have been under threat all summer from both law enforcement and right-wing militias and racist organizations. The cops have killed one of us in Portland. The right-wingers have killed some of us in Kenosha. It's not safe to be a leftist activist right now. Here more recently with the events of the election, the right-wing militia groups are crazy as hell, quite frankly. But they're dangerous. I mean, they hate us more than anything. They hate us more than any.
I disagree with you on that one. They ain't out there burning and looting shit up. You understand me? That's y'all that's out there burning and looting and shooting unaliving people and things of that nature.
This is how Hitler rose to power. Everybody kept saying, if we just sit back, he'll burn himself out. Fascism's not just gonna spontaneously go away. It's gonna get worse until somebody stops these motherfuckers.
The far right has fully embraced fascism. We don't want them comfortable anywhere, that they try to spew their hatred and their white supremacist message. Affinity groups like ours are really the only force standing against them. Antifa is their number one target.
You know, I understand cops want to go home at the end of the day and they want to be safe and everything, but goddamn it, you signed up for that job. The person whose door you're kicking in is innocent until proven guilty.
You see their arm? You see their arm? We ain't got nothing on us. You fucking know? We ain't got nothing. About here, right past this entryway, about here is where one of the guys hit the phone out of my hand.
We noticed as we were walking back down that we saw one of the GSUPD vehicles parked in the pullout of the parking garage. The guys are just sitting there, just watching us. We got upset. We were like, what the fuck? You had an opportunity to do your job and show us that we're wrong. You just sat there. You just sat there and let them pull guns on us and, physically attack us and didn't do shit. I believe one of them said, fuck you too, laughed at themselves, got back in their car, and drove off. This is why we want to abolish police, because when it really matters for them to be there or not, they're never there.
Here's a small update. We knew where they were meeting prior to the rally, so we headed there after we got back on the road. And, oh my, we ran into 4 fucking ANTIFA cowards, and they're all guilty in my book.
Left one, sir.
And 4 of them got some. They didn't want it. I don't want to get into details, but
That motherfucker, that shit talking great.
I kicked you in the ass and put your face into the side of a building. Ha ha!
One woman remains in the hospital tonight after being assaulted during the protests on Saturday. Take a look at this video. It shows the driver in Niagara Square being pulled from her car and then attacked. Police at first said that she possibly made a wrong turn, but that story has now changed. With the latest, here's 7 Eyewitness News reporter Hannah Bueller.
It's a moment when the protests in Buffalo Saturday appeared to take a violent turn.
It seems like chaos really started after that.
What you see here are multiple people on top of this car, smashing windows and jumping up and down. It all happened here in the middle of Delaware Avenue, right in front of the federal courthouse. What you don't see is what happened before and after. That left a woman in the hospital. Eyewitnesses say the woman was actually one of the protesters who they say was actively trying to incite violence by trying to throw things at law enforcement. The one eyewitness writes me, after folks found out the source of the flying debris, they confronted her and asked her to leave. The crowd around her pleads that this is a peaceful protest. A chant starts for her to leave. The protesters make way for her to back up.
She was repeatedly revving her engine, and right as someone walked in front of her car and told her to stop and to back up, she hit the gas and ran into protesters.
After that, police say the 29-year-old woman was pulled from the car and beaten in the roadway. She remains at ECMC.
With protests that started peacefully, going out of control. Multiple fires raging in South Minneapolis. The outrage comes after and over the death of George Floyd on Monday night after he was pinned down by the neck by a Minneapolis police officer. Let's take you to Sky 4, above the area that has been the focus of the protest and the focus of the violence and destruction overnight. A fire continuing to smolder. You see firefighters throwing water still from high up in the air on some of these fires that are burning. This is an industrial building near Minnehaha and Lake, but we have seen industrial buildings, factories, restaurants, all sorts of buildings in that area on fire in the overnight and early morning hours. Our Christiane Cordero has been following all of this. She is live in the area right now. Christiane?
Jason, one of the images that has stuck with so many of you throughout much of the night is that apartment complex that was on fire. This is that apartment complex. It was under construction as, what we understand, affordable housing. Now, you can see that there are still hot spots early this morning. There are still plenty of charring, plenty of smoke, and then, of course, the firefighters right behind that are working very aggressively now to put that fire out. This is so unfathomable to see in this frame itself, and yet it is one of so many other images that we've followed throughout the morning. Here's what we've seen. From miles away, the chaos and destruction in South Minneapolis was evident all night. It's much clearer as you arrive near the 3rd precinct. In the morning, the shouts of protesters have mostly given way to the buzzing of alarms at stores. Every business you see within 2 blocks of the police station is damaged. Many are still on fire. Here, a Metro PCS store burns with no one there to put it out. 2 blocks away, a line of Minneapolis police officers protect firefighters battling what's left of another, much larger fire at an apartment building under construction. The cliche of the city looking like a war zone rings true. The damage elsewhere is astounding to see up close. The AutoZone, set on fire early in the chaos of the evening, is collapsed, now a pile of rubble. That Metro PCS store is still burning and taking nearby power lines. As the sun rises through the hazy smoke, a community wakes up in shock. Shock is one word that rings true for so many people here who have come, whether to see it for themselves or to look at the businesses that they own, the homes that they live in. Jason, this is a story that we will, of course, follow throughout the rest of the day and much after that as well.
Christian, can you give us a sense for how things are different, if they are, right now at 9:03 as compared to what it was like, say, at 5:30 or 6 o'clock when you were out there this morning?
Honestly, it feels almost like a little bit of a parallel universe because the time has just blended all together. We're seeing some fire getting put out in this building behind me right now with the water hitting that really, really hot spot. That's some of the noise that you're hearing. When we were driving around this morning, Jason, we saw active fires. Now we're seeing a lot more of the efforts to contain, to put stuff out as the protests, the rioters have cleared the area, so it seems, and now the people who are standing around are just standing around in disbelief.
I want to make this distinction. We've talked about this before during our coverage, but there are people who are protesters, most of the protesters, who had no intention of doing anything other than having their voices heard. A different group, perhaps some overlap, but a different group of people who are doing criminal activity, if that is in fact what has caused these fires, and certainly it's what caused the vandalism. Are any folks still milling about, any protesters or people who appear to be looking for trouble?
Not that I've seen in the past few hours, at least, and for what it's worth, I actually just saw within the past few minutes a tweet from attorney Ben Crump, who is representing the family of George Floyd, saying in a slew of tweets that you should, of course, read on your own, but one of the things that he says is that the city is calling and the family is calling for peace at this time. Of course, he also says that the Black community wants peace in their souls, so that's the delicate balance that we're trying to get a better understanding of here in South Minneapolis, Jason.
Yeah, we heard one community leader saying that this is a fire that's been burning for long before.
Bricks right here! Bricks! Bricks! Bricks right here!
They got a stash of bricks. Who paid for them bricks? Yeah, Ron.
They all have gas masks on. Get ready. Gas masks on. Hey!
Shooting at him and shit. Yeah. Car dealers and shit. I'm talking about where the keys at. Where the keys and titles.
Oh shit!
There's the church. The fire's kissing it. And in Minneapolis when we were there, my friends that knew the fire department were trying to help and assist in where the fires were. But this church is really close to this fire. And this tree, CJ, that tree is gonna catch on fire, dude.
He said, I'm pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa will be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention on this matter.